Hello fellow seamstress. So today we are going to be learning how to make this asymmetric dress. So if this looks like what you love to learn, please continue watching. If this is your first time here, I am Lillian. Please click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Thank you so much. So here is a reminder of my online class that will be coming up in 4 days time. So if you're yet to register for this class, please do so. Details will be in the comment section and in the description box. Thank you so much. Let's get into the main tutorial. So for today's tutorial, you are going to be needing doll face. So I have roughly a yard and a half of doll face. So you are going to be needing doll face, and then you're also going to be needing akara. So I also have 2 yards of akara here. So for pattern, I already have a pattern that I'm going to be working with. So this pattern is from my previous tutorial. So I'm going to leave the link in the description box and in the comment section for those that are joining us for the first time. This is also my cinch pattern, so that is what I'm going to be working with. So first thing you're going to do is to come down by your underbust. So my underbust, sometimes I use 13 actually, but today I'm going to be working with 13.5 inch because of the style inspiration. So whatever your underbust is, add half inches to it. So if it is 13, mark 13.5. If it is 14, mark 14.5. So I'm going to go ahead and then cut off my underbust. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to come down by 6 inches. So I'm going to come down by 6 inches from my waistline. You can see that I'm actually marking from my actual waistline. Then when you come over to the side, come down by 1.5 inch. So at the center front, come down by 6 inches, and then by the side, come down by 1.5 inches. So hope that makes sense. So take your curve ruler, and then you are going to create a curve. So we are trying to create a Basque effect at this point, just as you can see me do now. Connect it from that 1.5 inch to 6 inches, and then cut it out just as you can see. So this is it for the front piece. So in other words, now we have 3 pieces for just the front piece. So I'm going to number it. We have 1, 2, and then this one is 3. So we have 3 pieces for the front alone. So I'm going to set it aside and then bring in the back. So what I'm going to do now is to use the back piece to the front piece, sorry, to cut out the back. Okay, so just as you can see now, use the front piece to cut out the back, and then just go ahead and then cut it off. So we are trying to align the half lengths, our shoulder to underbust. We are trying to align the front shoulder to underbust and the back shoulder to underbust. So I'm going to set it aside, and then the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut out on my fabric. So we are going to cut out on our fabric. So first of all, you are going to cut out your akara. So I'm going to be adding 12 inches to my length because this is actually to my knee. So I want to add extra 12 inches to it because I want it to be long. So you can actually make the shorter version of it depending on you. It depends on what you want. So from my knee line, I came down by 12 inches. So just as you can see now. So this is it. The next thing I'm going to do now is to add half inches to the top. So the upper side, just add half inches so that we can actually use the allowance to join the number 2. So all you need to do is to cut out, just as you can see me do now. Just go ahead and then cut out. So after cutting out, what you're going to do is to transfer your darts to your fabric. Okay, so just as you can see me do, go ahead and then transfer your darts to your main piece. So this is it. I'm going to set it aside so that I can cut out the back piece. So to cut out the back piece, place your fabric on fold to cut out 2 pieces at a go. So I'm going to add half inches to the top, just as you can see me do now. So I'm going to add half inches for my seam allowance. So another thing I'm going to do, when adding your length, when adding extra inches as your length, you are going to include your side dart. Remember, we are not going to cut out the side dart, so add whatever you are using as your side dart. If it is 1.5 inch, add it to your length. So for me, I'm going to be marking 13.5 inch instead of 12 at the back to make up for my side dart. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out. So when you're done cutting out, go ahead and then transfer your dart to your main piece, just as you can see me do. So guys, so this is it after transferring my dart to the main piece. So I'm going to set it aside, and then I'm going to bring in number 2. So for the number 2, you are going to place your fabric on fold, and then we are going to place the center front at the folded edge. So just like the way we cut out our skirt on fold, that is what we are going to be doing with the number 2. So it's just the same way. So when you're done, pin down. After pinning down, what we're going to do is to add 1/2 inch to the top and then to the down. So this will serve as our seam allowance. So this is it after cutting out. What you are going to do next is to transfer your dart also to the main piece. So this is it after transferring my dart. So what I'm going to do now is to bring the rest of the piece. So this is it for the rest of the piece. This is the front, okay, and then this is the front, and then this is the back, okay. So this is for both back piece, just as you can see. So we are going to set it aside, and then you are going to bring in the front piece. So for the front piece, bring in a fresh pattern paper and then place it on fold, just as you can see me do now. Place a fresh pattern on fold and then place your front piece on it. So what we are going to do, we are going to trace out the front on fold. So we are trying to retrace the front, but this time around we are going to be tracing it on fold. So make sure your pattern is on fold, just as you can see me do now. Use your tracing wheel and then trace it out. So this is it after tracing on fold. So I'm going to add 1/2 inch at it down. This will serve as my seam allowance. So after doing that, the next thing I'm going to do now is to come over to the shoulder. I'm going to go in by 1 inch, just as you can see. So from that point, I'm going to connect it back to the other side of the armhole. Okay, so just as you can see, remember what you are making is asymmetric. So one shoulder will be low while the other side will be high, just as you can see. Then go ahead and add 1/2 inch as your allowance for hemming. You can actually add more than 1/2 inch depending on the inches you want to hem the neckline with. So for me, I'm using 1/2 inch, so I'm just going to go ahead and then connect this and cut out. So guys, this is it. So what we are going to do next now, we are going to randomly create a line. So you just need to be careful of your neckline, please. Be careful of your neckline. Don't take it to your neckline, and then don't take it to your armhole. So this is it. So what you're going to do now is to slash these whole lines open. So be careful, don't take it too deep. Okay, so go ahead and then slash this whole line open. When you're done, what you're going to do next is to bring in your fabric and then place your pattern on it. So we are going to close off the darts because we are not going to sew it. So we are going to eliminate it by closing it off, just as you can see me do. So I'm trying to actually use pin, but pin is going to, I think it's going to disturb what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to try to pin it first, and then I'm going to, it's not working actually. It's not working for me, so I am going to take it off and then use gum. So I'm just going to use my gum, my fabric gum, to eliminate my dart. So I just place a little gum there so that I can actually use it to eliminate my dart. You can see me trying to close off my dart. Okay, so I'll do the same thing to the other side. So I think it's better this way than actually using pin. So I'm also going to use gum to eliminate this other darts, just as you can see. So eliminate your waist darts. So just as you can see, after doing that, what I'm going to do next is to pin down. So before doing that, I'm going to slash this open. So slash it open so that it should be free for you to actually move around, just as you can see. So when you're done, go ahead and then pin down. So I'm trying to create enough space. So if you actually want to have like more gather around the shoulder area, you can as well slash and then spread it more open, like spread it more than what you're seeing. If you want to have enough gather, like much gather around your shoulder, you can actually spread more than this, but you just need to be careful. Don't spread it too much, and then don't take your slash too much to the underbust area. So don't take it too deep down. So like this, something like this, or you can actually do more than this, a little is okay, but don't spread it too much. So I'm just going to mark around and then cut out. So guys, this is it after cutting out. So we are going to just run a gather around the shoulder area. So I'm going to set it aside, then bring in the back piece. So this is it for the back piece. So for the back piece, we are going to trace out another back piece. Remember that we are going to be having the high and low neckline at the back also. So I'm just going to trace out another piece for the back. So guys, this is it. So what you are going to do, go in by 1 inch at the shoulder. So just a repetition of what we did at the front, and then you are going to connect it from this side of the shoulder to the other side of the armhole, because we are going to maintain the same asymmetric neckline. So this is it. So when you're done, take your paper scissors and then cut out, just as you can see me do. So after cutting out, align it to make sure they are of equal length. So when you're done, we are going to cut out your fabric. So to do that, make sure the right side of the pattern is facing the right side of the fabric. Remember, this is how we are going to join shoulder to shoulder. It's going to be right side facing the right side. You can also use your front piece to check, to be sure that you are doing the right thing. Okay, just make sure that your front piece, the right side of your front piece, is facing the right side of the back piece you're about to cut. So I'm going to add ½ inch to the neckline. So add ½ inch to both sides of the neckline of the back piece. Add ½ inch here, and then to the other side we are also going to add ½ inch, just as you can see me do now. Go ahead and add half inch. Already added ½ inch to this side of the down, so I'm going to add to just this side of the back piece, because I already have ½ inch here. You can actually see it. So when you're done, go ahead and then cut out. Guys, this is it. So I already transferred my darts to the main piece, so this is it for the back piece. So what we're going to do now, we are going to bring in the other piece that we already cut out. So set this aside and then bring in the other piece that we already cut out. So what we are going to be doing first, you're going to bring in the front piece. So bring in the center front piece. So what we are going to do, we are going to go ahead and then sew off the darts. Okay, so for the front piece, you are going to sew off the darts both on this side. Sew off these darts here on this piece, and then the little one that we have left on the main piece, you are also going to sew it off. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll bring both pieces back. So guys, welcome back. So this is it, just like I instructed us. I already sewed off my darts on both piece. So what I'm going to do now is to fold this into two so that I can get the midpoint. So fold it accurately, please. Make sure you fold it accurately and then mark the midpoint. So I already did that. I'm going to open it and then use my ruler and my chalk to make it visible, just as you can see. Please make sure you mark. So from the waistline now, which is actually the under bust, but permit me to call it the waistline, we are going to go in by either ½ inch or 0.7 and then connect. So just create a random line. So not really a random line, you can see what I'm doing. So try to do the same thing, please. At the under bust, please make sure you come down by ½ inch or 0.7. okay, make sure you have enough space there. It's very important. So and then create your line so that you have a guideline that you are going to pass your boning through. So hope that makes sense. So that's actually the purpose of this line we are creating. So what you're going to do now is to get your bias. You are going to pass your wriggling bone or swable boning through your bias, and then you are going to sew it along this line. Okay, so that's actually one of the reasons we created the line. So we are going to sew it along the line, sew it from here to the midpoint. That is why we actually have that middle line, and then you are going to do the same thing on the other end. So before you start, make sure you mark at 1 inch so that you don't sew your boning at your sewing allowance. Make sure you take off your 1 inch seam allowance. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll bring it back. So guys, welcome back. So this is it. I already joined, just as you can see. So my bias is actually on the allowance, but my boning didn't get to the allowance. Okay, so make sure your boning doesn't get to the allowance. Your bias can actually get to that point. So what we are going to do, place it like this, right side facing the right side, and then pin down. So we are also going to join at that point. So just carefully pin to this side. So when you're done, turn it to the other side and then carefully pin. So you need to be very careful. Remember, we have Basque effect here, so you need to be careful while pinning down. So we are going to join by ½ inch. So I'll go ahead and do that and bring it back. So guys, welcome back. So this is it. I already joined and then I iron out, just as you can see. So what we are going to be doing next, we are also going to pass our boning channel through this point. So what we are going to do, we are going to cover this with boning. So all you need to do is to join from the ends to this side and then do the same thing here. So I'll go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to make the center point obvious. Okay, so that it will serve as guidelines. So do where to do the same. So I'm going to go ahead and then add my boning. So we are using it to actually cover the seam we have there. So I'll do just that and bring it back. So guys, this is it after joining. So we are just trying to use it to cover up the seam that we have there. The Basque effects we created, we just use our ridgeline bone to also cover that point up. So this is it. So what we are going to be doing next, you are going to also do the same thing to the center. So insert your boning inside your bias and then sew also at the midpoint. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and bring it back. So guys, this is it. So I already joined, just as you can see. So I already joined to the middle part. So what we're going to do, bring in the center front, that's the upper piece of the front. So we are going to place it right side facing the right side. Okay, so go ahead and then join it right side facing the right side. So I'm going to carefully pin down. When you're done pinning, go ahead and then join by 1/2 inch. So I'll go ahead and do that and then I'll bring it back. Okay, so this is it for the back. So we are going to do the same thing with the back. So bring in your back piece and then bring in the upper piece also of your back piece. So bring in the upper piece of your back piece and then you are going to go ahead and then also join by 1/2 inch. Okay, so right side facing the right side, also go ahead and then join by 1/2 inch and then do the same thing to the other side, also join by 1/2 inch. So I'll go ahead and do that and then I'll bring the whole piece back. Okay, so this is it. I already joined. This is it for the back piece and then this is it for the front. So the next thing we are going to do now is to join it right side facing the right side and then we are going to run your gathers or pleat around the shoulder line. You are only pleating the front shoulder line. Remember, that was the only point we actually have excess that we added. So you are going to pleat around the shoulder, around the back. You are going to pleat the front shoulder on the back shoulder. So the back shoulder should be your guideline. Okay, so pleat it to the width of the back shoulder line. I don't know if that makes sense. So when you're done, you're going to pin down. So after pinning down, just as you can see me do now, after pinning down, you're going to go ahead and then join at that point by 1/2 inch. Okay, so join at the shoulder line by 1/2 inch and then you're going to come over to the side. You are also going to join the side by 1 inch. So hope this makes sense. So the shoulder by 1/2 inch and then both side by 1 inch. So this is it after joining. So I already did that. So remember, we are here to actually hem the neckline. So go ahead and hem the neckline by 1/2 inch. So when you're done hemming the neckline by 1/2 inch, go ahead and fix your zipper. Okay, hem the neckline by 1/2 inch and then go ahead and then fix your zipper. So whatever you wish to use as your sleeve, go ahead and add it. So thank you so much for watching. This is the end of this video. So guys, thank you so much for watching. So this is the finished look. I hemmed the neckline and then I added my sleeve. Thank you so much for watching. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, give it a thumbs up, comment, also share with friends. Thank you so much. See you in my next video. Bye.